Hello, welcome everyone to the Dynatrace office hours for app development, March edition today. Welcome back for everyone that's joining repeatedly. Welcome to the ones that joined for the first time. I'm David. I welcome you from beautiful Vienna, and with me I have my colleague Dani.
Hello again. Hi, David.
As Dani sits in Barcelona today. All right. What can you expect in this session? In today's office hour session, as usual, we'll have a couple of share-worthy news and updates around custom app development at Dynatrace. Things you should be aware of. Things we're also sharing through our newsletter. For example, on the community forum, we go over a couple of updates here. And then today we have something special prepared, which we've not tried before, but we'll give it a try today, which is a quick live coding session. You will see later during the event.
Live coding with AI.
Exactly, yeah. Okay. It's going to be about vibe coding. We will show you a little bit how you can utilize it for app development when developing Dynatrace custom apps. All right, first news and content updates and so on, and then we will show you some code. All right, let's go into the first section, news and new releases. While I'm talking and also at the end and so on, please always feel free to ask questions if you have any. We're streaming this on multiple platforms, wherever you're watching us from. Type a comment in the typical comment box that you see on your platform, and it will reach us. We have someone in the background. Carrie is taking care of management of comments and so on. If anything comes, we can try to pick it up here during the session. So don't hold back, and let's look into the news that we want to share. One thing that we've mentioned before, also because it's a significant change, it's not a huge of effort for you to implement the change, but still it's really good news, I think. Strato version 3 will be released quite soon, and this is a very nice update, because if you're aware, currently we have these two main Strato packages named Strato Components and Strato Components Preview. Indicating Strato Components is stable, Strato Components Preview is maybe not so stable, and you'd have to always selectively import from this package or from this, which is a little bit cumbersome and not so easy to get on the first try. And this will be unified. We will only have one package in the future, which will be Strato Components, and you can import everything from there. So everything you want to use from Strato, just one package. There's one left for testing, but still the main imports are going to be way simpler than before. Will be released soon. You don't have to touch your code right away, because the imports from Strato Components Preview will still work, but they will also start working from Strato Components. This will be possible through Q3 this year. In the end, Strato Components Preview will go away. But the transition for you is super simple. Just go through your imports, wherever it says Strato Components Preview, change the import to Strato Components, and you've essentially done the upgrade. So yeah, keep an eye on the upcoming changes page for the design system. If you go to the developer portal, developer.dynatrace.com, you will find the release notes section, and there we have the design system section. And in there, we have the upcoming changes, where we're doing announcements like this, or also previous one, to give you heads ups of changes like this. All right. Other direction. So Strato with version 3 is going to be much simpler. I hope this is going to be useful to you and appreciated. All right, a quick update about the developer portal navigation. We did a revamp of how things are structured, specifically in the design section and the develop section. Previously, content was scattered around a little bit, grouped logically a little bit differently. A lot of thought went into how to structure it better, how to make information easier to find, more intuitive to find. So check it out on developer.dynatrace.com. If you thought before, I don't find anything, I always fall back to Google to find stuff, give it another try. I think the new structure makes quite a lot of sense, and it's more intuitive to find our content. Yes, a quick navigation update. Then vibe coding. This is kind of the segue into the next section. This is a session from the Perform conference I want to highlight. So Perform is the annual conference of Dynatrace in Las Vegas. It happened in January. There are always a lot of product announcements and things like that, and partners and customers also show off how they're using Dynatrace and how it helps them in their usage. And there's one session specifically about custom app development also that I wanted to highlight here today. This session is called Building Software in the Age of AI with Autodesk. It's kind of two parts. And in the first part, the two people you see on the screen here, that's Andy Grabner and Jeff Blankenberg, two developer advocates at Dynatrace. They talk about about the vibe coding in general, and that it became a reality by now. A couple of months ago, half a year ago, you might think, okay, this is an interesting idea, or maybe it's a hype, or so it doesn't work so well. But by now, it became a reality, and they talk through how to do it responsibly, how to use data from Dynatrace while you're vibe coding. You can have your code or queries that you're doing checked by Dynatrace and get that feedback loop. So if vibe coding is something that's very new to you, or if you're interested, just go to dynatrace.com/perform. There's a watch on demand button on the top right, and then find this session called Building Software in the Age of AI with Autodesk. I think Carrie will also share the link in the... All right. So much to the news. There's one more news, and to this, Dani will talk us through.
Yeah, so we have a new page in the tutorial, in the getting started of the development portal, about AI for app development. So whether you are a regular React user or just a PM SRE that has no idea of React and would like to get started in creating Dynatrace app, this page might be for you. And in here, you will find short and clear how to set up a set of tools in order to start developing apps within Dynatrace. One of them is the agents markdown file. This markdown file now is already provided within any new app that is created from the App Toolkit's CLI. And if you don't have it, because you've been building apps for quite a while, you already have an existing app, you can copy it from the documentation and into your own repository, because this markdown file will help your AI agent have better results. So it consists on a set of instructions, as you can see in the picture. This is just a short part of the agent's markdown file. And these instructions allow you and your AI to have additional context about your project structure, conventions, and development best practices for Dynatrace apps. And it explains how the platform architecture is built. So you will get better results with it. So if you haven't copied yet into your repository, go now, because it will be much helpful. And this is not the only update we have on AI development. We also have an MCP server.
Sorry. Yeah.
So Right, as you already know, we have a Dynatrace Apps extension for IDs like VS Code or Cursor. And you can add the Dynatrace Apps extension that you can find in the marketplace by free. And with these extensions, it's much easier to develop apps in Dynatrace. So you have a set of commands that you can run from your IDE. You have a way to debug app functions. And now you also have an MCP server built in. So you can start it, and once you start it, your agent from VS Code or from Cursor will have available this set of tools. And this is at the moment of recording this video, but in the future this will be further developments and further tools available for you. So for now, these tools allows you to find easily Strato components depending on the use case. So it's harder for the AI to use the wrong component for your problem or the use case you built. Also, it has tools for searching DQL. So for example, when you want to do a query, it will get better results on the right query that it needs to use, and also on the SDKs. So it will easily find the proper SDK for the use case that you ask for. So this is pretty much it. I think we have a question.
Yes, there was one question about which languages or frameworks we use.
On Dynatrace Apps, we use React for the frontend. And
TypeScript as the language.
Sorry?
And TypeScript as the language.
Yeah, TypeScript on top of React. And right now, we are going to be showing how you can develop nowadays in an app in Dynatrace, and without knowledge also on React by vibe coding. So after showing you the guide, the idea is to vibe code a simple app for you guys to know that if you are an SRE, if you are a backend developer that happens to just check Dynatrace from time to time and would like to build their own Dynatrace app within the platform. So, I mean, maybe you have a dashboard and you are not satisfied with the dashboards, you want to build your own app. It's possible. You don't need a lot of React knowledge. You can vibe code it, and the agent's markdown file and the MCP server will help you and your AI to be able to build it. So we are going to show a sneak peek on how can you do that. For that, and to not lose much time on the preparation, we already pre-made some of the setup. So the first part that we have running is the DT app create. So this basically creates the boilerplate to get started with Dynatrace Apps. So just running this command on your shell will get you everything already working on. Then we installed also the Dynatrace Apps on the IDE that I will be using, which is the VS Code. And within Dynatrace Apps, as I told, the MCP server comes built in, and I'm running it already. So with all this setup, we can start with vibe coding.
All right, and with that, we can switch over to Danny's screen.
Yeah. Let me know when you are seeing my screen. You should see the Dynatrace tenant.
Yes, it's visible.
It's visible? Okay. So as I told you, we ran an app, just the boilerplate that you have at the start. So we are running it here on local dev server, and you have basically the boilerplate that it's on all getting started apps. So you have here some navigation, some explore data, chat, whatever, this link that goes to Dynatrace developer, and this link that goes to Dynatrace developer community, but nothing else. And we have the code right here that, as you can see now, the code from the CLI has this agents markdown file already in your initial boilerplate. And yeah, let's start by coding a bit. Let's start trying to build, for example, we would like to fetch all the logs on the last 24 hours and display them on a data table. What about that, David?
Sounds like a good start for a
Okay.
simple app.
For that, we'll be using the model Cloud Opus 4.6, which is the latest one. And let's tell the AI to do that. For that, fetch all the logs from the past 24 hours and display. Yeah, we don't need to display all the details from the logs. We just need to display, for example, timestamp and content fields. And I would like to display them in a data table from Strato Design System. Let's see what it does.
So through the agents.md file,
Using one reference, as you can see,
exactly.
it's getting the reference from agents.markdown file. You were saying, sorry, David?
No, I just wanted to point out it should notice on its own from agents.md that it should be a Strato table, but sometimes it doesn't hurt to be over explicit stating what you want.
Yeah. So let's see what it's doing here. It's reviewing, and you can see as well how it's using our MCP server. So it's trying to find the data table in our Strato components. So using both tools to get the component, and also is using the DQL search tool to find the proper DQL query to use for fetching all the logs in the last 24 hours. And yeah, it's working on it. We can see that there are already some changes. The agent has the context it needs. It already understands the project. It says that he will create a logs page. He's adding it to the roots folder. It's checking, it's making sure that it has the permissions, the right permissions to fetch log. This is good. We didn't specify that to the agent, but he already knows that for fetching logs, you might need some permissions. Maybe it had them already, maybe not. Good. Storage logs is already there. And what else? It's going pretty fast. So it's already importing data table. It's trying to create the columns from the data table. It found the DQL query that we need to fetch the logs. So fetch logs from the last 24 hours, keeps just timestamp and content, sorting by timestamp, limiting to 1000. Looks correct. In this case, well, we're displaying a limit to not show all the database, which is good already, and looks like it finished. So, and look, it's displaying all these results in a data table. So let's check what it did. We can go to the app.tsx. You can see that it added a new root that is pointing to /docs. That is this new page, logs. Then what else? We have this header, also adding a logs link to the logs page in the header. Seems correct. And let's see this logs.tsx. This is a new file it created. That what it's doing is here is instantiating the component. So it's using the useDQL SDK to fetch the logs, which is the right one to use. This is correct. It uses the query that our MCP server tool gave him. And OK is defining the columns. We need 2 columns for this data table. Timestamp and content seems correct as well. Rows, the rows, it gets them from the USDQL result. Seems correct as well. It's memoizing them in order for the columns because they are static all the time, the columns, and the records only change when data is changed. This seems correct as well. And yeah, we have a heading, a paragraph showing logs from the past 24 hours. We have also some error handling here. So if we have an error, we'll show the error message. Simple, but we didn't ask the AI to write anything fancy for us. And it comes out by free. And here we have our data table with our columns, taking the full width, and also using the loading property directly built in the data table whenever to show a spinner whenever it's loading. So it looks correct, right, David? What do you think?
It looks pretty proper, yes.
Yeah, so let's tell that we want to keep these changes, and let me show what we have in the browser. So let me zoom a bit. As you can see, here we have this new tab in the header that is called logs. And if we click on it, we have this spinner that is loading the logs. And here it is. We have this data table with timestamp, content, and fantastic. We have the 1,000 logs here with an endless scroll shown. So it did what we wanted to do, right?
Yes, pretty simple. Just one sentence, couple minutes of waiting. I mean, it was done pretty quickly. We spent a little bit of time on the review, which is not to be forgotten. If you are using AI to produce code, in the end, you're still responsible for what you're running somewhere on production. Always review the code that is being produced. But it can be quite very fast and very efficient. In between, there was a quick question about Strato, if it can also be used to show charts. Yes, totally. Strato covers a lot of different visualization types. Essentially, everything you see on the Dynatrace platform itself, if you're seeing a time series chart or if you're seeing a bar chart somewhere, it is built with Strato. Here, we're just showing a simple example. We're just showing logs. A table is an appropriate visualization for it. But sure, Strato supports many different visualization types. Check it out on developer.dynatrace.com under the design section.
Yeah, Strato offers plenty of charts for all the needs. So we can use directly the search. We have done a chart that looks like this. We have meter bar chart. We have single values. We have spark lines that can be combined with single values to show a line chart. We have the XY chart, time series chart, basically a honeycomb as well. Node graph. This is one of the latest additions we have. And you can see on the Smartscape application. We have maps as well.
Yeah, many different visualization types. If you want to figure out how to use them, check out the documentation pages. Make sure to click on show code also to see how it's implemented. Oftentimes there is also a use cases tab at the top where it explains in which situations do you want to use these kind of visualizations. If you use them in the wrong situation or wrong context, it might throw the user off if they're not expecting a pie chart for such a data type, for example. It might throw them off. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's try to improve this a bit, right, David?
Yeah, sure. Do you have something in mind?
Yeah. For example, I don't know, to just not show that we just can get the starting prompt. You can iterate over it. So, for example, I mean, we are showing timestamp and content. So why not showing log level as well?
Yes, that would make sense in a separate column.
Okay. So show the log level in its own column as well. Let's see what it does. Let's see if I understand that log level is a field from logs that you can get from DQL and add it into the data table. So using agents markdown file as reference as well, like before. In the meantime, do we have any other question?
There was a question in Spanish where we thought maybe you can have a look at it. It's in the in our internal chat.
Okay, let me check.
Or can you see it on the screen as well? See, this is a really awesome situation now. Dan is looking at some other screen at the chat,
Okay,
and in the background, the AI was done
so it
and
says,
the page reloaded.
okay, it says, good afternoon, Danny. Could you explain how the ingestion of commands from Dynatrace in a host works and how to get the data we need?
Okay, about data ingestion. That is a slightly different topic than app development. What we're talking about here. Still, I would recommend to refer to the Dynatrace documentation. In this case, not developer.dynatrace.com, but docs.dynatrace.com. Or if you are if you have a Dynatrace tenant available already, I think if you go to the hub application, there should be a link to getting data into Dynatrace. If you need more assistance, you can go to the community forum, community.dynatrace.com, and there's at least a general Q&A session where someone that is a specialist with setting up Dynatrace, getting data into it, and so on can help you out. Here, Dani and I are focusing first and foremost on app development, and probably can't give you expert advice on data ingestion.
Yeah, this is a question from Domingo Rodriguez. So yeah, this Airstream is thought only for app development, but actually I don't understand what you mean by ingesta de comandos. Do you mean like logs metrics traces? Because for that you can use one agent in your host, and that will get all the data out of the box that you need on the Dynatrace tenant. And if you want, you can extend it by using OpenTelemetry, or you can use OpenTelemetry standalone, which is the standard framework open source for observability. Then, okay, meanwhile, we were asking questions and answering them. The AI finished. So let's see what it did. Added log level column between timestamp and content, fetching log level field from the DQL query. Let's see what it did. As we can see, changed the DQL query, it added log level. It also added the log level column. And yeah, this should be pretty much it. Let's see the result in the UI. There it is. We have the log level in the middle. We can actually sort, which is already built in on the data table from Strato. It looks like all the logs we have are info level this time. We can also sort by content. We can sort by timestamp. And in regards of the timestamp, actually it looks pretty bad, right, David?
Yes, I'm always confused about these many zeros and z's or z's in the end. Maybe we can improve that as well, make it more human friendly.
Yeah. Let's try to tell the agent to do that, because this doesn't look readable for the end user. So let's say the timestamp column doesn't look readable for an end user. Try to show it in a better format using available Strato tools, Strato attributes, for example. Let's see what it does. Let me check the data table column types for timestamp formatting. Oh, there's a date column type. Let me check. Column type dates set for the column, and there it is. Column time date. Let's see how it looks now. And much better.
That I can.
Now we
that
can
I can read.
understand what time is it. How cool, right?
Nice.
Yeah, so we built all of this without writing any React line of code, just by using 3 prompts. And yeah, this is pretty much the sneak peek we wanted to show about live coding. So you can already get started. You can build your own Dynatrace app within Dynatrace, use the power of our platform that we have available. We have plenty of SDKs, plenty of components in the design system that makes it really easy to integrate and create your own Dynatrace app. So try it out.
Yes. I would still want to point out the example that we've shown here was a simple example. Show some logs in the table is well, still the AI solved it really well. Is a very minimal example. We've seen people internally but also externally use vibe coding in general, but also vibe coding Dynatrace apps and using the Dynatrace MCP servers to do much more, like complete apps with multiple functionalities. Obviously, that is not so easy to showcase live here in the office hours section, but keep that in mind. You can not only do baby steps, but if you write more instructions, give it more specification and so on, and then let it run for longer than what we did now in this couple of minutes, you can get even more and bigger results. Yeah, please.
Yeah, we could actually try to show also a chart and iterate over and over it. But yeah, the idea was just to show a sneak peek. And also bear in mind that the output is non-deterministic, so you can get slightly different results running it today, running it tomorrow, running it twice in the same hour. So just bear that in mind. But overall, the AI will help you a lot on developing Dynatrace apps. So start using it.
There was one more question relating to what we've shown. How can we test if the app build is working without any issues? Essentially, in the same way you would do it as if you were a developer or engineer without any AI support. Write tests, or in this case, ask the AI to write tests. Maybe it would ask you in between, okay, which kind of tests do you want and so on, how deep, or or so if it wants some feedback. But in general, it can also write tests. It can execute it for you, and then it has its own feedback loop to verify that things work. Then again, some things it can't verify for you. The look and feel and so on. Do you like how it looks like? It can't answer for you. You still need to look at it in the end.
Yeah, yeah. I'm running the app in the terminal, so any error at build time that we have, you can see it here. So right now, UI was built successfully. There's no error. Before I had this error, and the AI managed to solve it right away. So yeah.
Good. Carrie, I think we can switch over to my screen sharing again, and I close it up with the last slides. No, I'm not seeing. Yes, you're seeing my slides. All right. We are sharing updates like what we've shared today. Obviously not live coding, but written updates, links to new documentation, and so on and so forth. In our monthly developer newsletter, you can see the screenshots of the latest two. We share them on the Dynatrace community, and want to give you a heads up about things, link to guides and so on, things that you might have to do in terms of migrations or so, a heads up about the Strata v3 and so on, because those things are good to know. You will also find, for example, the link to the AI for app development documentation and guide, what Dani mentioned before, with the link to the VS Code extension and the explanation of the MCP server and so on. Don't miss it. And if you really don't want to miss it, let me show you quickly how you can subscribe to it. So you get email notifications when we publish it, as I said, once a month. If you go to community.dynatrace.com, and then in the navigation to learn, and then product news, and then on the right side, there is a follow button that will show up once you're signed in. If you click follow, you will get all of our developer newsletters once they're released via email, and also a couple of other product related news. It's not too much, so should not be spammy, but a good way to stay in the loop and stay updated. All right. Second to last slide is already Q&A session. Let's see if we have any leftover comments that we should still address. This we covered. Yeah, I think in between we forgot to address one question. It was about GPS real-time location tracking.
What about GPS real-time location tracking? Is it possible? I mean, if have it accurate? So I don't know what's the relationship between this and Dynatrace Apps.
Yes, me neither. You have GPS data in Dynatrace.
Yeah, if you want to ingest data in Dynatrace from the GPS, I guess you can. And if not, you can use OpenTelemetry or build your own extension for the GPS platform.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Dynatrace itself has no relationship to GPS tracking or so. If you have the data in your gray storage in the tenant, then you can use it in your custom apps. You can query it in a notebook or dashboard. You can display it on a map component that comes with Strato. But yeah, if you have it,
you need to see and check what's the operating system the GPS is using, and see if that's compatible with one agent, or if not, if we have any extension in the marketplace already for that operating system. Maybe it's using Android, so check it out. But yeah, it's not related to app development.
Good. I think that we're all.
We have another question actually. What about Flutter or Kotlin multi-platform, so you cannot build Dynatrace apps on Flutter and Kotlin multi-platform.
And I think there is also no plan to
No,
do so.
no, but yeah, you can monitor Flutter and Kotlin multi-platform with Dynatrace. Think like maybe not at its full capacity, but also we have some ongoing efforts under development. I think for session replay, it's also on the pipeline. But definitely you cannot build Dynatrace apps on Kotlin.
True. All right. I think with
Also
that.
another question about WYs.
What, you're finding these questions that I forgot?
I'm opening the chat and there's a lot of messages, so you need to go a bit down from Joshua
I remember now.
at 4:19.
Yes, thank you, Carrie, for bringing up the question. Is WISE applicable when adding audio for AI? I did not know what WISE is. I had a super quick Google before, and apparently it's for voice transcription or voice output. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if you have some use case how you want to add that to your app. But I don't see really the relation to either Dynatrace apps or vibe coding Dynatrace apps.
If you could do a blog post or a video showing us how you are by coding Dynatrace apps with your voice, would be awesome. So yeah, if WWise allows you to do that, that's amazing. I didn't know about this tool either. So yeah, so far you cannot. We have a new question as well right now.
Can we upload or update lookup table?
So I guess he's asking whether we can upload or update a lookup table. And for sure you can. You can. There's an API for uploading lookup tables. And yeah, lookup tables, we explained it on previous office hours. They are static files that you can retrieve using DQL, and you can store any JSON in there, kind of data you would like to store. And you can upload them, you can update them, but we have a tutorial page regarding that. Maybe we can share later. I don't know if I will have time to find it out, but it says
I have it.
Everything you need to know, all the permissions that you need to have before uploading the lookup table.
Yeah, Carrie will post the link in the chat as well.
You have it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can share it right now.
The pages
and you can use it also from your you can do it from your Dynatrace app, from your app function. You can fetch the API directly from there and upload your lookup tables. Okay. Thank you, Nipun. I don't know if I pronounce it correctly, Nipun. Thank you for your questions. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you also, Joshua. Thank you, Domingo. Sri Vishnu. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the names correctly. Thank you, everyone, for the questions. Hope you liked the live coding short session we had. And stay tuned for next office hours.
Yes. Next office hours are in May, Monday, May 11th. Stick around on LinkedIn. You will see a posting with the invite as we had it for this session. You can sign up then, get a reminder on LinkedIn and so on, and join us again Monday, May 11th. In the meantime, check out the developer Q&A forum on community.dynatrace.com if you have any questions. Check out the general developer portal on developer.dynatrace.com. Check out the newsletter, and yeah, until then, we look forward to seeing you again next time. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Danny.
Thank you.